It hit her like a ton of bricks. She was served with divorce papers. The process server, just as callous as he could be, handed her the papers, said, "You've been served." Didn't he know her whole life was about to be turned upside down? It was as if an explosion had gone off, and she was deaf now. She couldn't hear. There was ringing in her ears. That went on for about 3.5 weeks. Finally, she came to her senses. The dust settled, the smoke cleared. She could see more clearly now. She realized it wasn't her fault. She'd done everything she could, taking care of the kids, the house. It was him. He had fallen out of love with her for whatever reason. Well, she came in to see me about halfway through week 3. This happens a lot to people that are served with divorce. It's a shock. Other couples can sit down and work through their problems and know that they're going to get a divorce and plan for it. But in this case, it just came out of nowhere. She had no idea that this was going to happen. That happens sometimes. The thing you got to be careful of if this does happen to you is not to let the time go by without taking some kind of action. It's easy just to throw those papers to the side and act like they don't exist. But you've got to take care of business. Usually you've got 20 to 30 days to get an attorney and file a response to a divorce complaint. In Tennessee, it's 30 days. And if you don't do that, if you don't file within 30 days, you can get a default judgment against you, and that's never a good thing. So make sure if you're in this situation, let the dust settle and the smoke clear, but let it clear quickly because you've only got a certain period of time within which to respond, and you've got to do it within that time period. Well, he got home about 8 o'clock in the morning, and she was gone with the kids. They'd been married about 5 years, had 2 kids, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. He figured she had gone to her mom's, who lived about 30 or 40 miles away, but he started texting her. Now, he knew they had been in an argument the night before and that she was upset, but he didn't think she would leave with the kids. So as he texted her all day long, she didn't respond. He sent over 200 text messages that day. Finally, she responded. She said, "Please stop texting me. We're fine." Well, he didn't stop. He kept texting her. "When are you coming home? When can I see my kids? Does this mean we're over?" Text after text after text. Finally, she texted again. "Stop texting me. This is harassment." And it was harassment. She could have him arrested and charged with harassment because she told him to stop and he didn't. He continued to text her. He could be the subject of an order of protection for harassment. That would affect his ability to see his kids. You know, guys, you got to be careful in these situations. Girls, too. If somebody tells you not to text them or call them, don't. Because if you keep on doing it, it could be harassment and you could be arrested. When the son was 16 and the daughter 15, they both came to live with Dad. Dad had been paying child support to Mom, but Mom was having some issues of her own and couldn't really deal with the kids, so she let Dad take them. They agreed among themselves that he didn't have to pay her child support as long as he had custody of them and took care of them. Well, the problem is there was no court order stopping child support. Well, Dad went on and raised the kids, didn't pay child support, even sent them to college, paid for their college tuition, as a matter of fact. They both graduated, did really well, have good jobs now. Well, move forward 9 years. The state takes Dad to court and says, "Hey, you owe child support for that time period you didn't pay when the kids were 15 to 18 years old. You got to pay it back. Not only that, but you got to pay the interest back as well." Dad argued, "Hey, wait a second, I raised these kids during that time period." Court said, "Too bad. You never went back and changed that order." What do you think about that? Do you think the state should allow Dad to go back and change the order and modify it retroactively? Or do you think Dad should be on the hook for the child support that he didn't pay, even while he had custody of the kids? The 39-year-old father of a 10-year-old little boy developed a brain tumor. It had to be surgically removed. It was serious. There was some residual damage to his motor functions, damage to his speech, things that kept him from being able to be gainfully employed. Well, when he was first diagnosed, his parents were smart enough to know that he was paying child support under a court order, and if they didn't do something quickly to stop that child support from mounting up, it was going to continue to accrue. So they hired an attorney to go into court on his behalf and petition the court to stop the child support. They got a judge to issue a temporary order to stop it until it could be determined what his prognosis was. When they determined that, they were able to go into court and have child support stopped completely. By doing that, they kept all those arrears from mounting up. They kept there from being a contempt petition. They kept him from ending up possibly in jail, even though he was disabled. All of those things because his parents were smart enough to know that they needed to file something immediately. Something happened this weekend that made me madder than I've been in a long time. I represent the father of a 3-year-old little boy. The father happens to be in the United States Army stationed down in Texas. Well, he and the mom are living down there together until about 6 months ago when they got crossways. Mom moves back to Tennessee, where they're both from, and takes the little boy with him. Well, Dad's about to be deployed. He's going to be overseas for at least the next 9 months, probably longer. So he wants to see his son. Hadn't seen him in 6 months since they left Texas. Well, he calls me up. I call the other lawyer up. We work it out to where Dad's going to get up here about 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, pick his son up, have his son until 6 on Sunday. Then he's going to head back and then go overseas. Well, he gets here Saturday afternoon about 3 o'clock, goes to the door, kisses his little boy, talks to his little boy, gets him reacclimated to him, then asks Mom, hey, I need to get the car seat. Can I have it, please? She says, no. He said, what are you talking about? She says, get your own damn car seat. That's mine. What are you talking about? He said, I paid for it. It came out of my money. She said, I don't care. Get your own car seat if you want to see our son. He had to go to Walmart, lose about 2 hours of time with his son, buy a car seat, come back, pick his son up, and spend the rest of the time with his son. He was mad. I was mad. I called the other lawyer up and let him have it. What do you think about that? If my client wasn't going to be deployed, I'd probably file something in court Monday morning and try to get him custody of the little boy. What do you think about her behavior?